Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Max. So let's talk. All right, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, this whole it's brought about a whole lot of questions. One of the questions that it brought about for me was this: with Bill Cosby falling the way that he fell, and him being known as America's dad, and Will Smith being highly regarded not only in Hollywood but throughout the world as just a nice guy, all around good, positive role model and image. Um, with these two going down the way that they went down, who's going to feel that role of a positive image, especially for the black community in Hollywood? That's going to be something that will over time be established. But right now, man, Will he set us back. That was a major blow to Black America right there with what took place at those Oscars. I have my own theories on it because I do my own research, as you know, and a lot of times I come up with stuff that may be a little outside of the box. But all in all, man, at first I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna stand on this, that I felt like that slap was fake. I felt like it was a Hollywood slap. I felt like it was choreographed. These are actors, and but the thing that I don't know is what is the end game. That's the only thing that puts holes in my logic. Is I don't know what the end game is. What is to be gained from taking the first black ran Oscars and causing such a big upheaval like that. I mean, Will Smith is a smart guy. Will Smith is a person who is knowledgeable of what's going on in the world, in our society, and things like that. Him and his wife has addressed many things. So I'm pretty sure that they knew the gravity and the importance of this Oscars, with it being ran by Will Packer, with it having all of the black female hosts that it had, Wanda Sykes, and forgive me for not being able to mention the others. I can't think of their names right now, but it was a big night for Black America, especially with all of the complaints and things like that we've had with the Oscars. So now we have the opportunity. They've given us the chance to say, okay, we're going to put it in your hands. First, we had the Super Bowl that was all black ran Super Bowl by Jay-Z. So, okay, let's give you a chance with the Oscars, and so they did that. And what happens? And it would be different if it was somebody that we expected it from. It would be different if it was like a Cat Williams or something like that went up there and did something like that, or somebody who's known for that type of behavior. But for Will Smith, somebody that is totally out of character, for somebody that has always preached a positive message and has always been a person to try to take the higher ground and always preach taking the higher ground and becoming your better self, it really set a lot of people back. And I'm not saying that we should base our lives or our emotions or anything like that off of the actions of movie stars and entertainers and things like that. But when you have such a level of influence and you've put in all the years of work that a Will Smith has, and you built and established such a large following over the years that you have through such good work, then you have a lot of eyes on you. You have a lot of people that you've inspired, and you have a lot of people who's going to they're going to put some weight on what you say. And so when you see this person who you've always looked up to and you've always valued in that sense turn around and do something way out of character like that, well, now you begin to ask questions. What brought this man to this point? What made this man become this person? What got him out of character to the point that he would do something to this nature? And there's been many speculations. You know, a lot of people say so many things about the situation. And I'm just going to be like everybody else, man. I have my own views about things and I can dig into that. So let's go into that a little bit. Now, with me personally, I feel like Will has always, when he came in, you know, they give you an image. This is the image that we want you to portray. This is the image and the agenda or the message that we want you to put forth for us. That's the whole purpose for them giving such power and influence to the music industry so that they will be influential in swaying society and how society lives and how society acts and things like that. That's how they base the artists that they're going to promote, who's the most influential. And so when you have a Will Smith who was in that spot of influence and they said, look, this is the image that we want you to portray. This is what we're going for right now. This is our target audience. And you'll be able to capture this with your personality and the way you are. And so that was cool. He came in as the Fresh Prince and, you know, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And they came in with song parents don't understand. And it was a kid friendly song. It was a song that everybody loved. And, you know, if you grew up in that era, you could relate to that. I was in, let me see, fourth or fifth grade when that song came out. What's going on, my brother? Blessed to see you this morning, Reverend Tony. Um, and you know, when the song came out, it was a very kid friendly song. We all loved it. And you could listen to a whole DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince album without the parental guidance sticker on it. You could listen to it with your mom and all that. And then they came out with the song Summertime, and that became a classic for every summer. You know, you pump Summertime. And so, you know, over the years, he's built up this reputation of being the nice guy, the cool dude, the safe guy. Well, now fast forward some years, you have him coming in contact with Miss Jada, whatever her name was, well, Miss Jada Pinkett. And you know, she grown up with Tupac. They went to the school of performing arts and all of this together. And, you know, that was the love of her life. There's that one person that we all have, that one person that if it's not the person that we're with, you know, we can think back and we can remember that one person who just had us totally fully immersed in them. So that's nothing unusual. Where it gets sticky is the fact that, you know, they both go on to have a considerably great career, but Tupac surpasses Jada and at that time Will, you know, and he was the guy. He was the guy that Will Smith later on became as far as success wise in Hollywood. That's what Tupac was at that time. He was on fire and everybody wanted a part of Tupac. And, you know, he influenced the whole entire culture. Now, Will Smith, when he came out, he fulfilled his obligation and he influenced the people he influenced in the area that they wanted him to influence, and that was the safe kids, the suburban kids, and you know, the soccer moms. And he had all of that back in the day. That was Will Smith's lane. But Tupac was a whole totally different thing. Whenever Tupac came out, yeah, he did come out with Digital Underground, and Digital Underground was a lighthearted group, and they were all about funk and having fun and stuff like that. And Tupac was a backup dancer for them. But then when he came out on his own, he brought his own politics to the game, basically, and a star was born. And so, you know, Tupac, the role that he took and the persona that he took on was larger than life, thug life, you know, the entire street culture. And that's something that Will Smith was never associated with. Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince was never associated with that. But that's what Jada came up in. That's what her and Tupac came up in. That's what she was used to. And so her ideal man was Tupac because he was basically Will Smith with an edge. And so, you know, Tupac being who he was and, him living the life that he was, I can just, speculate that it was a situation where uh, you have somebody that you love so much and you're so close to that if you get in a relationship with them, you're gonna hurt them. And so instead of doing that, you just keep it at a friend thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's one speculation. That's just my determination of one reason why Tupac and Jada didn't end up together, because I don't see any reason why they wouldn't have. But for whatever reasons, she ended up with Will. And it's funny how the scenario plays out on A Different World, because if you remember the show A Different World, there was an episode where where her character, who was dating the star basketball player at the college, Hillman, and he was a very popular guy. Everybody loved him. He was going on to be successful. He was basically the Will type of guy. He was a Christian, saving himself for marriage. He was a good guy. And that's on the show. That's who she was dating. Well, Tupac came to visit her at the campus, and he was a friend from the old neighborhood. And so he came, and there was a whole lot of tension because he still had a thing for Jada, or her character on the show, and had a problem with her new boyfriend and her new lifestyle change. And this is very, very reminiscent of what Jada Pinkett life was like in real life. With the only difference is you just add Will Smith in the spot of the character that was playing her boyfriend on A Different World. And so I saw that parallel, and I was like, wow, that's pretty deep. And so Will has always been that guy who's not known for the streets. He's not known for, even with the movie roles that he's played, and he's tried to play some roles where he had an edge, but he was still funny. He was still, that likable guy, and he was never a threat, especially outside of his roles in movies. Will's never been known as a threat to anyone. And so, um, to have those two contrasting types of personalities vying for the attention of one woman, because yeah, Pac loved Jada, you know what I'm saying? But until he got older and got out of his ways and settled down, then he wasn't trying to do that. He was just enjoying his life as a star, which is understandable, because you wouldn't want to try to. I never understood the concept of knowing that I'm young, I'm single, I have all of this influence, and I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do all of these things. Why would I try to limit myself to a monogamous relationship that I know I'm not going to take serious? And so they put themselves in a lot of situations, but that's neither here nor there. So let's keep it going with this concept. And so, you know, Jada and Pac, they didn't get together. Her and Will ended up together. Will has always had this thing, because if you've ever been in a relationship and you're not the person's first choice, for a fact that you're not the person's first choice, there's always going to be some insecurity in, and that insecurity can sometimes be used as motivation and drive to push you on to greater success, to show that person that you were the better choice and you were the best pick. Or it can make you push away from that person and start to resent that person because you feel like you shouldn't have to compete for what you feel like is already yours. And this is the situation that Will finds himself in. Will finds himself competing for something that he already considered his that was never really his. And so through Hollywood, always, they're going to, when they see you as a safe guy, the safe black guy, they're gonna start poking. They're gonna start throwing them jabs at you because you're the safe guy. You're not gonna explode. You're not gonna do anything out of character. You're gonna be the one to always take the high road. And so they begin to jab. They begin to poke at Will. And then everybody else joined in with the little jabs at Will here and there. And then here now you come with the red table talk. And Jada, she wants to express herself and she's found a new avenue because everybody's getting on the talk podcast type of format now. This is the thing to do. And so Red Table Talk is just that. And so she's utilized this opportunity to be transparent, but some things are best left unsaid. And sometimes when we're trying to be transparent and we don't have the correct discernment, we will speak some things that we shouldn't speak out into the universe. And then whenever we have to deal with the recompense of what we've said, now we've opened up a whole nother can of worms. And this is where we are with Jada and Will right now because minus the slap. We all know about the slap. Everybody said it from every different point of view. But let's talk about the aftermath of that. What is the aftermath of the slap? Well, now we're hearing that Jada's wanting a divorce. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, we told you she toxic and she this and that. And she just, but hold on, this ain't the first time that they've had divorce rumors in their marriage. This is not the first time where they've had turbulence in their marriage. And if you're a married person, you know that you have turbulent times. You've talked about divorce, you may be threatened divorce or anything like that in the heat of the moment. And with so much pressure, and when you've okay, you as a Hollywood couple already have a magnifying glass on you, and then you're gonna add an extra lens to that by doing something such as Red Table Talk and exposing the family and exposing things that you're just making yourself and your family a target, not only making your husband look bad. What's happening, bro? What's going on? You said her boyfriend in a different world, his name was Dor. Yeah, that was his name, Dorian. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. And that is a mirror image of her life, man. I just find that parallel is crazy, bro. But yeah, man. So you see Jada and you see Will. Now they're in this relationship. And a relationship, I don't it doesn't matter what you believe, man. The bottom line is this: if you're going to have a successful marriage, man, you have to understand that it's a ministry. And when I say it's a ministry, that's because there's so many other people that are connected to it and affected by it. And the things that you do and say, it affects more than just you. So it's a ministry, man. You can be a blessing to people, or you can be a lesson to people in how you conduct your marriage. And so that's why I say it's a ministry. And so now they're in this ministry together, and they're trying to figure it out because when your wife's still looking that way when you're this way, that's going to breed that insecurity even further. And like I said, that probably pushed Will to become the guy that he became, just to prove to Jada that she picked the right one. But all the while, it don't matter if her heart is elsewhere, her heart is elsewhere, period. And on the show at the end, she chose Dorian, but that's not how the real life story ended. because now you have Will who's chasing this memory of a dead man, and he'll never be able to compete with that. But he's tried time and time again. And so, I say all that to say this, man, who's going to be the replacement for this guy? Because Will is going through some struggles. Will has some identity issues that he need to resolve. Will has some anger issues, some of that introverted anger issues that he needs to resolve. Yeah, I said introverted because there's a such thing as being able to be an outgoing person, but holding everything inside. That's still an introvert quality. And so, you can put on a mask and always be the life of the party, but still be dealing with so much inside and you hide it for so long. People don't even think to ask you if you're okay or what's going on with you because you've put on such a strong persona of being, positive and happy and joyful and peaceful. And sometimes these things can come back to kick you because who's going to be there to strengthen you when you need strength? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to think to check on you? Who's going to think twice about saying something about you that could affect you in a negative or a positive way? Who's going to do that? Nobody, because they think, he can take it. He's a nice guy. It's going to be all right. But over the years, this stuff has been piling up on Will Smith. Over the years, people just testing his gangster. Basically, everybody been testing Will's gangster for the longest. I just saw recently a video with August Alsina. Him and Rick Ross did a song, and it's strictly, absolutely 100% obvious that it's about Will and Jada, how his heart is broke because he want Will Smith's wife. And it's very blatant, man. And it's sad that people will support somebody coveting another man's wife, regardless of what type of marriage they had, regardless of whether it's open or this or that. Now you just want her for yourself. It's one thing that the man, whether he shared his wife with that man or not, now you want her to yourself. You don't want to share. You want her to be your lady now. That's coveting. That's not sharing. That's coveting. And so why would you have people out here who's in support of coveting some another man's wife? You got Rick Ross on the joint spitting bars about coveting another man's wife. Man, it's crazy that people support this type of stuff, but this where we are as a people. And I don't that don't surprise me with Rick Ross because the way that he did the 85 South show when he got up and walked off they show very disrespectfully, regardless of what the situation was, man. So, that don't really surprise me with Rick Ross. But my thing and my question once again is who is going to fill that role of the face of the positive black man in the black community? Who's going to take that mantle? Who do we have? Who do we have that's even qualified? Who do we have as even candidates for that? And like I said, it has to be somebody who has major influence, who has major star power. We still have the Denzels and the Samuel L's and stuff like that, but these guys are getting older. Will's getting older too, but you know Will's always been that face. He's been like the regenerated uh Bill Cosby of old, I guess. I don't know. And speaking on Bill Cosby, he's been shut down a lot ever since he's gotten out of prison. And that's what the end goal was, to shut him down, to discredit him, to have both sides to turn on him. And we know what sides I'm speaking of. Um, the two most influential sides in the United States, and we know who they are. So they've accomplished that with him. And I'll go back to what Eddie Griffin said because it rings very true. And he said that no black man will leave Hollywood without a stained or tarnished image. So, being that we are very visual creatures as males, and we don't see any images of us in a positive light portrayed, what then will we become on our own? What then will we choose? Um, and it's a very scary question because a lot of us are going to resort back to whatever we feel is right. And there's a scripture that says that there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death, and a lot of us walk down those paths a lot of times. But I don't think we should just have to leave it up to one person to be the face of the black community as far as positive black male images. We come in different facets. We come in different um, tempers. We come with different personalities and all of that stuff. But we're all good people. I say it like this: we're all people who do good and bad things. Somebody said that recently, and I like that perception. We're all just people who do good or bad things. There's no good person. There's no bad person. We're all just humans who make choices to do good things, or we make choices to do bad things. That's it, period, point blank. But we're always looking for a standard to rise to. We're always looking for a goal to obtain. And so, who's going to become that goal now? It was always the Will Smiths. It was always the Russell Wilsons. Will Russell be the next face for black male standard? I don't think so. Um, so he has the same issue that Will has. He's seen as a simp. He's seen as a beta male, and so that's not going to fare well in this society that we live in now, who put so much accent and highlight on the alpha males. You have the alpha males, you have the beta males, and now they've brought up a new category called the sigma male. And the sigma male is someone who um, it basically describes me. It's somebody who likes to be to themselves. I'm perfectly fine by myself on my own, just chilling and nobody around. And I can do that. Absolute quiet and peace. I love it 100%. Does not bother me at all. I do not need to be around people or talking to other people, but I can go out. And when I am around people, I can be very outgoing. I can be very, charming. I can be all of those different charismatic, all of those different things if I choose to. But for the most part, I choose not to. And I'm very observant of what's going on around me. I take a very high survey of everybody in the room and I move accordingly, and I do not put myself too much into the conversation, but I also am capable of interjecting and having something very useful to say and not socially awkward at all. So there's this new category that has popped up called the Sigma male, which I've always known that I wasn't an alpha or a beta. I always knew that I was somewhere in the middle. There just wasn't a title for it at the time. But now we have a title for it. So there be it. But, Will is stuck in that beta male role. And, it's allowed by loving somebody so much that you want to try to please them. You say you don't think any celebrity should be the face of anything related to black people. What about Neil deGrasse Tyson? Um, Will Neil deGrasse Tyson does not have the influence that these other people have, to be honest, bro. That's just the straight up truth. Yeah, we love Neil deGrasse Tyson. We love the concept of a very smart brother. That's great. But do he have the influence? Can he influence the masses? Can he draw as many people into a certain mindset as Will Smith or as a Bill Cosby and all of these other people? That's the only thing, bro. You know, it shouldn't be like that, but it is. The fact of the matter and the reality is, it is like that. In a better world, man, it wouldn't be, but it is like that. And so the people who have the ability to influence are the people who gonna get the go ahead. And so, you know, the people that we do have in these positions, who's gonna be next, bro? Who's gonna be that person that when he speak, black people gonna be like, yeah, he represent us. You know what I'm saying? Or is it gonna be a female? Who knows? Um, a lot of people would say Obama. Eh, no, no, I'm sorry. Not Obama. Obama during his terms in office, yeah, he was good for morale, a slight morale booster. But overall, no, Obama would not be the face of Black America. He would be the face of the Black elite in America, probably, but not Black America as a whole. Who would be widely accepted by the majority of Black America is what I'm looking for. You say it's shameful to think someone needs another individual to represent them. Yeah, I know. I know, but the way this system is set and the way it's built, man, it's built on that type of format. You have the one head who represent all of the people. You look at how you have the mayors and then the governors and then the senators and then the presidency. Yeah, there's that structure, and so they apply that to everything, man. So yeah, it's sad that we have to abide by that structure in a lot of the ways that we do things here in America, but that's just how it is. You said represent them for what and to whom? Um, man, I say it like this: there's really nobody out there that represents me except for me, because my views vary on so many different things. You could consider me conservative on one topic, but you can consider me liberal on another topic, and you can consider me militant on another topic. And so my beliefs and there's no one mindset that could represent me. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree with you on that, bro. There's not, I don't see one person being able to say that they speak for me all the way across the board. I don't see that. And that's why I was stating earlier, man, maybe we shouldn't look to just one person for that responsibility. But in this system and structure that we live in, that's the way that it goes. And so I don't know who that person will be, but in this time, it has to be somebody that's younger. We these older guys, yeah, they can chip in and they can bring the knowledge and they can give the input and advice and stuff like that. But we need somebody with some youth on their side, somebody that can really, really bridge the gap. That's what has to be done. And so, um, man, it's just a hard thing. I hate that Will Smith, went out the way that he went out, man. And now it's caused a divide in Hollywood because you have the comedians on one side saying, hey, we're not going to tolerate this attack on comedy anymore. But then on the other side, you have the people who saying, well, hey, comedy shouldn't be saying this, and this man is protecting his wife. So you have Hollywood is divided now. Not only that, because we really don't care. Hollywood, that's just frivolous. luxuries and stuff like that. So in the grand scheme of our daily survival, it really don't matter that much. But what it comes down to is the example that is given to the viewers, the example that is given to the people who have followed these people for all of these years, and their lives have been heavily influenced by these actors and actresses. And so, you hear all the time with these actors and actresses, when people see them on the streets, they see them as the character that they played, that favorite character that they like. And so they address them as such a lot of the times, like, oh, I'm mad at you for what you did to Lucas. That's in a show. But people sometimes can't separate reality from the shows and stuff. And so we have to take that into consideration with these people. Now, when it comes to representation, man, I really don't see what the use for a representation would be for us as a people anymore. I mean, if we're going to be a total a United States, like what the moniker that we carry says all the time, if we're really going to be that, then we're going to learn how to coexist despite our differences, and do our own thing, man. People learn to mind their business and just do their own thing, man. Live life to the fullest. Um, with these black actors dropping with a lot of these influential people, um, carrying this vulgar mindset, and no longer upholding that integrity and the standard and all of those different qualities that were admirable, and everybody wanting to have this edgy side, everybody wanting to cater to that lower chakra area, that guttural area. Now you're going to start seeing less role models. You hear a whole lot of our athletes who say, hey, I'm not a role model. They don't want to wear that. They don't want to wear that label. They don't want to carry that responsibility now, because it's not fun carrying that responsibility, and it's a lot harder to carry that responsibility than it is to just be the bad guy and to go out and do the different stuff. And it seems like the way that people are staying relevant in this world and staying relevant in the entertainment industry is doing the bad stuff, doing the controversial stuff, doing all of the toxic negative stuff that gets everybody talking, and that perks your ears up. And so now there's this corruption that's going on in entertainment, because they feel like that they have to corrupt themselves like this in order to stay relevant in a world that's pushing aside those older actors. Yeah, Will ain't getting no younger. He's no longer a heartthrob like that. It's the moms that's liking Will Smith now, and the grandmoms that's liking Will Smith now. It's not the little 19, 20-year old girls that's thinking that. It may be a few, but for the most part, no, he's old. And when you go through not only the midlife crisis that a man goes through, then you go through the crisis of, on the backside of your career in Hollywood, because you're not that young guy anymore. And then you have this crisis in your marriage where you're not her top choice anymore. So on all of these different aspects, you're not the top dog. All of these different aspects where you was once widely held and held it up high and lifted up on a pedestal, you're no longer there anymore. Not in your marriage, not in your career, not in any of those things. And so that takes a toll on a man. And Will Smith just had a moment of, if it was real, if it wasn't fake, it was just a moment of, yo, I need a release. I need to get this out. I'm sick of this. that was just the wrong moment for it. So, are we to destroy the man's whole life and make him go off in a basement somewhere and just hide forever in shame? No, man. We don't preach self-condemnation. We don't preach any type of condemnation. Everybody make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You make amends for your mistake and you move forward, but everybody else is going to keep dwelling on it and keep harping on it and making it worse. And I hope Will don't allow this to affect him any more than Hollywood and life has already affected him. There's a lot that we'll really need to get out, man, and just putting on a mask of being positive and everything's cool. Nah, that may be good for the screen, but that ain't real life. That ain't good for you, brother. That is not healthy for you as a human being. So you really need to let all of that stuff out. What the dad issues, the acceptance issues, all of the stuff that you've been dealing with your whole life, Will, and haven't really been able to express because you always been the strength for other people and the example for other people. So you never got an opportunity to do your vent, and you never got an opportunity to cry. You never got an opportunity to be mad and make those mistakes because you was always held on such a high accord. Well, now you made a mistake. Now you have to grow from it. Now you have to be an example of how to bounce back. That was one of my biggest things because if anybody know anything about my life, I've had some crazy, crazy dumb decisions that I've made in life that put me in some very bad situations, and it affected everybody in my life. And you know, the bounce back was very, very fulfilling. It was very rewarding, and it was very beneficial to everybody that was involved because it shows the resilience of us as people. It shows that you can come back from making a mistake. It shows that you can learn to do better. So I hope that Will takes that into consideration. I hope that's something that he's working on because, like I said, the redemption story is always going to be better, man. And I wish that for him. You know what I'm saying? I hope his marriage, whatever route it goes, I hope things work out for them, whether it be them separating or divorcing or whether they stay together and stick it out and work it out. Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? I'm praying for that situation because it don't matter what your status is. It don't matter none of that. I strip away all titles and just see a human. And I want all humans to be healthy and to be able to operate with a healthy mindset and a healthy heart so that they won't infect other people with their hurt and their damage. That's the whole concept. And so, Will, Jada, all y'all, I wish y'all the best. Everybody on the outside looking in, mind your business, leave them people alone, man. Let them go ahead and get their affairs in order without y'all adding extra on to it. You don't want nobody jumping in your situation, putting in their 2 cents, and just because they act as an entertainer don't mean that your 2 cents is welcome. You may have the right to say it, but that don't mean that they have to accept it or receive it. So yeah, that's just that, man. I'm glad to be back on the air. And bro, you was absolutely right, man. That Johnson and Johnson show that I did, they showed up did strike me down for that, but I ain't even tripping on that because what said needed to be said. And now you turn around again and you have Johnson and Johnson, who's right back in the news once again for another lawsuit. So Johnson and Johnson got a lot of things that they really need to work on, man. And I'm gonna do a more thorough show about Johnson and Johnson with absolutely all facts because I know what got my strike. You know what I'm saying? And that was my opinions and my criticisms. But as long as you stick to the facts that are public knowledge and public documents, then they can't strike your content. So I'll be following up with more Johnson and Johnson news and commentary, And I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Um, yeah, you did tell me, bro, but I ain't, like I said, I ain't even tripping on it, man. That gave me an opportunity to really sit back and just get some studying done. And I went over on my TikTok page and I've been cutting a fool over there, man. So I've been really hyping it up on TikTok. If y'all don't know, I got a TikTok page, it's Deacon Mac 2. Go over there, man. That's just where I be showing out, cutting a fool, and just doing crazy videos and stuff like that, having fun. So I've been over there tripping, man, still putting my message forth. They can't stop my message, man. They can just stop it on this they can stop it on this platform, but they can't stop my message. Because I can walk around and talk to the people. I'm from the old school, remember that. I'm from the era where we used to go around and do the face to face talk to people. So I ain't even tripping on that. So, but yeah, this is your boy D Mac. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I've been on here for a hot 45 minutes. I usually don't even be that long winded, but I did want to address this issue, even though it's something that we consider shallow. It's still people's lives, and it's a whole lot of people that's connected to this. Because, like I was stating to a friend, the things that have been canceled and the things that Will Smith projects that they were going to do, Will Smith, that fell through. It affected more than just Will Smith and his family. It affected other people who was a part of those projects who are now not going to get paid for something that they were probably banking on. You have other actors and actresses that are not going to probably be able to take that opportunity. And there's just a whole lot that was messed up. So it's not just Will that's messed up behind this. It's a ripple effect. It's that butterfly effect. And it's very unfortunate that we have to go through this, but it is what it is, man. I take great consideration into what my brother said, man, and it's don't be putting so much into actors and actresses as far as influence. Did I say actresses? But yeah, as far as your influence and as far as how you live your life and the decisions that you make and things like that, do, if you allow these people to influence your life, then you get what you get. That's all I'll say on that. Because I'm not gonna tell nobody not to follow this or follow that because we're all influenced by somebody. But I'll just say that whoever you follow, whoever you pattern your behavior and stuff after, you get what you get. So don't expect nothing more, nothing less. This is your boy D Mac, man. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.